here not to listen, but charitable listening is an act of generosity, a sign of respect. When we listen actively, we surrender our own assumptions and notions to make space for the ideas of another. In times of turmoil, listening is the only way forward. Thank you for listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Listen.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me know exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
Don't you driving me insane? Got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games. Man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
Now, the first aspect of being a stepdad I want you men to understand is that the spiritual bond with that product of your being cannot be manufactured. That bond only happens when you are actually the child's father. No matter how much work you put in, no matter how much time you put in, even if you appreciate it in that position while you're in it, because you never appreciate it after you're done with it. But even if you appreciate it in that position while you're in it, that bond is never going to be created. You can't manufacture the spiritual bond between a man and his child. Only a biological father can have that. And so when you put yourself in this position, you're already starting off behind the 8 ball, because the very necessary thing required to be an effective parent, an effective father, is gone. So what you're doing is simply just being a male role model in that situation. A stepdad is a fancy way, an inclusive way of saying male role model, to separate you from the coaches and the mentors and the tutor and the pastor and the deacons and the uncles. So they give you your own title to make you feel like you belong, and they throw dad on the end of it to make you feel really a part of the family. But you can never be a family with a woman and her child or children by another man. That's never going to be a family. They always have other descriptive adjectives to frame around that family. Split family, blended family, step family, new family, but never just family. Besides that, the majority of single mothers are not going to allow you to punish their child. They're not. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If you can't punish a child, you can't discipline a child. Because even if the punishment is never necessary, you have to at least be able to will the punishment as a result of not listening to your lead or not following your instructions or just completely disobeying you. But in this situation, you can't do that. And so the woman has to go and complain to her father about the weak man that she's with, who can't even garner the respect of her young child. Let's take a listen to this video, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on the real tip.
Yo! The voice of reason back in the building on KBLA Talk 1580. Another powerful topic. Step up or shut up. A deeper understanding of the importance of being a stepfather. Do you agree with the commentary that you just heard? A man can't actually be an effective stepfather. It's all pseudo male presence. I agree and disagree. I agree and I disagree with what the brother was saying. It's good information. But you know what it is? You can't have an opinion. Oh, yes, you can. That's what opinions are. Okay, you definitely, opinions, you can just come off the cuff with what you think. And I get it. But oftentimes I listen for absolutes. People speak in absolutes. You can never be a stepfather. And that is, no, listen, man, you have to include what this woman or what this man has been through. See, we like to fit in roles, right? This is your role as a dad. This is your role as a stepdad. This is your role as a stepmom. We like to fit in boxes. And we think if we fit inside an ideological construct, all we got to do is act accordingly to the rules of that construct and everything will be okay. But that's not how it works. It's just not. And like I said, we live in a society that is spiritually impoverished. So you don't have a spiritual answer for a spiritual problem. And I'm not talking about a dogmatically religious answer, because whenever you say spirit, people run to some holy book. I'm not talking about that. Spirit work comes from self-work, self-knowledge, self-cultivation. We mimic and model what we've been through. So if you got a toxic woman who had a toxic relationship that produced a toxic child, as a stepfather, you cannot come in and say, I'm going to establish a new ideological rule. You know why? Because they have yet to deal with whatever they've been through. Yes. In some listen, if you a stepfather in a situation where you're being disrespected as the stepfather, that means you joined or you got into a toxic situation. The toxicity existed before you got there, right? It doesn't mean you don't come with your own toxicity now. That's a whole nother part of the discussion. But their toxicity existed before you got there. So you think you're going to come in and put your foot down. This how we going to do. This how things going to turn out. It's just not how it works. 1-800-920-1580. I want you to join this discussion. If you've been a stepdad, if you are a stepdad, and I guess once you've been a stepdad, you're always a stepdad, I guess. But if you're going through it right now, what are some of the difficulties? What are some of the challenges that you face as a stepfather? Do you feel like you're the invisible dad? 1-800-920-1580. Why are stepdads important? What to know? What do you need to know about being a stepdad? True or false? Most often, the question that new stepdads have is, what is my role? What are the expectations of me? And will your kids like me? True or false? Being a great stepdad is one of the most important but challenging roles in a man's life. Call me right now, 1-800-920-1580. Should a stepdad be allowed to discipline children under his care that are not his biological child or children? 1-800-920-1580. We're going to get into it. We're going to get deep, deep, deep into this. Call me, 1-800-920-1580. I want to talk to you. When we come forward, we're going to go to the phone lines, and we have more in-depth discussion on this topic.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings will disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you a happy holiday and wants to bless you with one night only. A Wonder Winter's Night presented by Stevie Wonder's House Full of Toys benefit concert. Saturday, December 17th at Microsoft Theater. Download the KBLA Talk 1580.com mobile app to enter to win a pair of tickets. This has been a community call to action brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
The Institute for Diversity Certification is all about the 3 Ds: dedication, determination, and discipline. Learn more about our globally recognized diversity certification program today by calling 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192, or visit diversitycertification.org. As the #1 organization for certified diversity professionals and also certified diversity executive credentials, diversitycertification.org will provide an opportunity for you to demonstrate dedication to the field, determination to make progress, and more discipline to your process. Go today and learn more about the diversity certification system. Call 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192. Or go to diversitycertification.org. That's diversitycertification.org. The standard of excellence, equity, diversity, and inclusion.
Around the world have felt the thrill of Broadway's most spectacular musical, Disney's The Lion King. And now you can too. Experience this breathtaking theatrical event and see why the New York Times declares there is simply nothing else like it.
Give the gift that roars at the Pantages Theater, February 2nd through March 26th. Visit BroadwayInHollywood.com.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. A My Social Security account allows you to access your earnings history and benefits information, request a replacement Social Security card, get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk
1580. When I look you in your eyes, I can see my own. Straight love manifested in flesh and bone. Use the breath of fresh air in this world. You was born to be a soldier, don't ever forget. Hit back when hit. Use force that's effective. All the police and women, son, please be selective. This is California, can't take your in everything. We will survive necessarily by any means. No man ever hold you down or suppress you. It's the 90s, the police just arrest you, disrespect you. On occasion, take life. By the time you come of age, they probably speak on sight. If you saying they protect them, but try to serve us. When your neck is on the line, stand grounded on. In God we trust, but just in case, keep it loaded and locked, ready to rock and shake the spot, the foundation.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, welcome to the dopest conversation on radio, the voice of reason, live on KBLA Talk 1580. Tonight's topic, step up or shut up. A deeper understanding of the importance of being a stepfather. Oh, this is deep. People don't understand, man. People don't understand. Like, people try to act like animals. They try to use animal kingdom examples. That's not my child, so, I'm not responsible for another man's child. And I get it. Animal kingdom analogies work to a limiting degree. But let me give you an example of stepfathering at the highest level. Is anybody watching the Shaquille O'Neal documentary on HBO? The Sarge is Shaquille's father. And in that documentary, Shaquille's mother takes him to visit his father. And basically gave the brother an opportunity. Hey, man, this your son. But it was clear, I don't want to deal with him. I'm not in a position to deal with my boy, whatever. In other words, there was no interest, right? Okay, cool. The Sarge comes into Shaquille's life and establishes an order. The mother, his mother, Shaquille's mother, was on board with the structure and the order that the Sarge brought to Shaquille. She allowed him to discipline her son. And it wasn't, this is my son. It was more, this is our son. This is your son. And the Sarge, who had a military background, stayed on Shaquille like white on rice. Pushed him, mentored him, motivated him. So when I hear brothers saying, this is why I say I agree and disagree, because you have to understand, in the world we live in today, that's really more opinion-based than fact-based, you hear a lot of absolutes, right? The Shaquille O'Neal situation is an example of a positive stepfather, stepson scenario. Doesn't mean all of those scenarios work out the same way. But the reason why I feel like we don't have or we don't use the viable bridge in the discussion, which is, what have you been through? If I'm going to marry you and take on kids from another situation, I need to first ascertain what y'all have been through and are currently going through. Now, ain't nobody ever told you this, but I need to ascertain what y'all have been through and are currently going through, and how does that mirror what I have been through and am currently going through. See, nobody really looks at relationships that way. How are your wounds compatible with mine? Everybody thinks that there's an ideological life tray, not an ice tray, a life tray that we can all fit in and follow those rules, and then the relationship will work out. This is not how relationships work. Ideological constructs will not protect you from the self-work that relationship reflects back to you. So if you dating a woman and you want to marry a woman and you want to become the father of her children, but you don't have an in-depth understanding of what she, the father of those children, and the children have gone through as it relates to what you've been through, you setting yourself up for a mess. How come your kids don't respect me? Well, maybe she doesn't respect you as a father. If you have children, she may have seen how you deal with your children and may not want you to deal with her children in the same way. If she's an enabler and you're a strong arm kind of father, this is how we're going to work, she may not want you to deal with her kids that way. This may be some of her self-work. Huh? But if you haven't discussed or discovered some of these things, you don't even know where to begin. You start by putting an idea in front of her. The idea is, I'm the man, do as I say. This is how we're going to run this. I keep telling y'all, traditional-minded men hide behind the idea and the definition of traditional relationships, protect and provide, which simply means if I'm paying the bills, you're bending the knee. Now, that doesn't mean I won't listen to you, but it means I have final say on everything. And some men will say, God mandated that rule. 1-800-920-1580. Shut up or step up. Huh? Shut up or step up, guys. Tonight's topic. Why are stepdads so important? As a stepfather, you're really more like a mentor than a father. You're a helper, a caretaker, a steward of sorts, who gives the children a needed perspective and becomes an important source of strength as they grow and mature. That is a word salad that somebody put together. Because you can easily apply that same definition and say dads are mentors. That's what a dad is. A dad is a mentor. He's an authoritarian. This is what I tell fathers. You start as an authoritarian, right? Because kids don't make decisions for their lives. Their parents do. But good fathers know how to transition from authoritative to mentor. This is how you keep your relationship with your children. Because as they get older and learn more about the world, the iron grasp that fathers have needs to loosen a little bit, right? The same definition I read for a here it is. As a stepfather, you really are more like a mentor. Fathers, actual biological fathers, good ones, become mentors later on in their child's life. You're a helper. Good fathers are helpers. A caretaker. Good fathers are caretakers. A steward of sorts. Good fathers are stewards. If you understand the spiritual principle, the child isn't yours anyway. You're a steward of the spirit within the child. Everybody has a dysfunctional relationship with societal rules. That's why your relationships ain't worth nothing. Because you trying to fit into the societal life tray and the spirit aspect of why you attract who you attract and the lessons that come from that don't really have a definition. They're not really defined. You may have to go through 5-6 relationships before you wake up one day and realize, wow, I've been dating the same person for the last 5 relationships, and I've been getting incremental knowledge with each failed attempt. Pieces of what I am, pieces of what I'm supposed to learn. Stepdads and fathers give children needed perspective. And stepdads and biological fathers can become an important source of strength as they grow and mature. Do you understand? You want to be an effective stepfather, you have to be, listen to what I'm saying, this is going to hurt a lot of people. Because y'all think y'all could just fill a role while you still got a hole in your soul. Oh, I got with this girl. She got kids. Now I'm her kid's stepfather. But you got holes in your soul, and you haven't done any work. You want to be an effective anything, person, husband, friend, lover, stepfather, whatever. You got to be a congruent person. Thought, word, deed, and intentions have to all be in alignment. That's how you can come in and positively impact not only your relationship, your intimate relationship, but also the relationship you may inherit as a step parent. 1-800-920-1580. The phone lines are cracking. I want to talk to folk. Man, let's get to it. Daryl from Los Angeles, get in here.
My man, beautiful topic, dude. But the thing, I don't use the word step because I'm just my kid's father, and I believe that the father doesn't necessarily include a biological connection. You know what I mean? I think a father can be a father without, inseminating the woman. If I'll just use me as an example. I got married to my ex-wife. She's ex-wife now. We was married 20 years. When I met her, she had twin boys that were 3 by a white guy. She was half white. Kids looked nothing like me initially, but and then we, a few years later, had a daughter between us. Okay, Jasmine. Now that said, I treat boys different than I do girls because they got to man up, right? I spoil my daughter, kind of spoil them too, but for the most part, I spoil my daughter. But the woman has to give you room to do that. If you're willing to step in here and be a parent, because that's what it's all about. If you're gonna be a good father, dude, it don't have to be your child. You can have your child and still be a bad father. Mm-hmm. Circle back to what you were saying about Shaq. His real dad. But my kids, now they're 35, I'm the only dad they ever knew, right? And they never disrespect me. As a matter of fact, they give me great respect, as they should. And the reason why that is because I had a good father. So all I had to do was mimic what my father did.
Wait, Daryl, because you're cooking right now. Hold tight.
All right.
I need to carry you forward. Daryl from Los Angeles, when we come forward, we're going to finish this discussion because he's got a lot to talk about.
If the time ever comes that I meet my match, take control of my assets, start from scratch. Take care of your mother, keep yourself on track. Just as this is get behind you don't mean they got your back. Beware of the serpent, it's the time in life.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A bill ensuring federal protections for same-sex and interracial marriages is now the law of the land. President Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act during a ceremony at the White House. WNBA star Brittany Griner is said to be doing well as she recovers at a Texas military hospital after being released from Russian custody. Appearing on ABC's This Week, the White House's John Kirby described Griner as being in very good spirits and in good health. In the Big Apple, a northern entrance to Manhattan Central Park will be named for the group known as the Central Park Five. The Gate of the Exonerated is what's inscribed at the entrance, named for the 5 black men who spent years in prison as teens after being wrongfully convicted in the assault and rape of a jogger in 1989. The world's largest crypto exchange, Binance, has seen nearly $2 billion in withdrawals in the last 24 hours. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Expand All Access account. Get mobile banking needs. Banking services provided by and account established by Pathward N.A. Member FDIC. Deposit account opening is subject to registration and ID verification. Terms and costs apply.
Don't talk.
Just listen. Listening is life-changing. Life-changing. As words become increasingly weaponized and politicized in our community and in our country, sometimes it's easier not to listen. But charitable listening is an act of generosity, a sign of respect. When we listen actively, we surrender our own assumptions and notions to make space for the ideas of another. In times of turmoil, listening is the only way forward. Thank you for listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Listen.
Congratulations to Trinity Unlimited Childcare for being KBLA Talk 1580's Office of the Week. Into your business today in the KBLA app or KBLA1580.com for the Office of the Week. Congratulations to Trinity Unlimited Childcare.
Central Neighborhood Health Foundation is a full-service network of federally qualified health care centers that serves local communities throughout Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. CNHF clinics compassionate, comprehensive, quality health care, which includes primary care services for chronic disease and diabetes management, pediatric and women's services, preventive care, vision and dental screenings, COVID-19 testing and vaccines, flu vaccines, behavioral health, HIV, and substance use services. Virtual telehealth visits are available from the comfort of your home with highly qualified physicians and medical professionals. CNHF also provides peer support specialist training and help with housing navigation. Central Neighborhood Health Foundation. Your wellness is our priority. Comprehensive care built on trust and respect. For more information, visit cnhfclinics.org or call 213-536-5815 today to locate a clinic near you.
You're the victim of a car accident. Who goes to bat for you is crucial. We're MVP Accident Attorneys, the personal injury pros. Hiring the right law firm could be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. When it comes to getting the maximum compensation you deserve, our team hits it out of the park. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for a free case review. Call 833-MVP-WINS. Call on me, your MVP. Three-time WNBA champion, the Los Angeles Sparks, jump into their 27th season this summer with the most games ever in league history. This historic 40-game season means more world-class play in a city where the party never stops. Get connected to an unforgettable experience and secure your seats now at lasparks.com/tickets.
In recent editions of the Los Angeles Standard newspaper, read about Karen Bass's plan to curb crime and homelessness. Black merchants purchase a building in Leimert Park Village. The California Task Force to study reparations report. Local HBCU advocates Brandon Miller and Nicole Ford jump the broom. Interior designer Tamara Marie creates environments in people's homes that invoke positive emotions. Black alumni from UCLA and USC's annual joint football tailgate. Introductory aviation and aerospace programs for Black youth. The Handy Foundation trains people of color for behind-the-scenes jobs in the film industry. Black-owned LA Grind Coffee and Tea Bar in Mid-City. And Black-owned 1010 Wine and Events in Inglewood. Read about these stories at www.lastandardnewspaper.com.
KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stop the violence. Increase the Peace Foundation is a non-profit community-based organization dedicated to fostering peace while mitigating violence in our society. Established in 1993, Stop the Violence, Increase the Peace has provided a wide variety of assistance to thousands of youth, families, and victims of violence over the past 3 decades, including intervention services, conflict and dispute resolution training, grief counseling, and victims advocacy. In addition, the foundation offers an array of classes focused on anger management, domestic violence, parenting, substance abuse, and more. To make a donation or to access services, call 323-445-8620. That's 323-445-8620 or visit www.increasethepeacefoundation.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the voice of reason with Joe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
take no mess. No, I won't take no mess. If I'm the right friend, take a little tasty.
Hey, I dedicate this to Sarge. Sarge, man. Shaq's daddy. Hey, in that documentary, Shaq was trying to do some Magic Johnson stuff, running up and down the court trying to be all flashy. Sarge pulled him to the side and said, "What you doing?" Slapped him upside his head. "Get out there and dunk on him." That's a stepfather for you right there. Papa don't take no mess. Shout out to Sarge. The voice of reason back in the building. Step up or shut up. A deeper understanding of the importance of being a stepfather is tonight's topic. We got phone lines cracking. I'm going to get to everybody in a quick second. Let's get Daryl back in here so he can wrap up his thought.
Yes, sir. I just want to say you don't need a biological connection to a child to be a good father.
Agreed.
That's the most important thing. If you have the love of the woman and that child, and you want to give him the best that you can offer him in order to, I'm speaking on the boy because the girl's gonna have you around their finger anyway. Well, my daughter did, but you show love. That love get reflected back on you. It blurs the line of stepfather, stepmother, or anything like that. They're children. You know, now to a certain degree, it depends on when, like you were saying earlier. So it depends on when you fall into that relationship. Now, if the kid is already 15, 12, or 15, somewhere in there, then the teenager, then they can be a little resentful. You know, and you're gonna have to put in a little extra work to get to them. You know, if you plan to be in that relationship, but I believe it can be done.
Well, let me say this, Daryl, because you're bringing up a good point. Let me say this. We have a misconception about work. We all think we can do something. It's not about doing anything. It's just about being present and available. Present, available, and open. Once you start doing stuff, you start messing with the kid. Well, let me make sure the kid. Well, let me find out what the kid like, and then I'm gonna take the kid, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do. No, don't do nothing. Just be present and open and accepting, and allow the kid to organically flow into your openness. How about that?
That's beautiful.
See, we always trying to. This is the same concept we use in relationships. Oh, we got to work on this. No, you don't even know how to work on you. You don't even know how to accept you.
Real talk.
You're trying to get somebody to work on a relationship with you, because really what you're trying to do is get them to fit inside an ideological construct that will lead to pay dirt in your expectations of them.
Past programming.
That's what you're doing. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So when we talking about, hey, we gotta work with these kids. No, you have to be accepting and open and non-judgmental and respecting of the child's boundaries. And at the end of the day, if they come around, great. If they don't, it's not your fault. You weren't available.
And that's why you can be good with it, however it turns out. Because you weren't available.
There you go.
I got you.
There you
All
go.
right.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the call. Man, we on fire tonight. We on fire tonight. Stepdad, step up. Talk to me, Daddy. I know you've been in there. A lot of black men say, I can't take care of another man's child. Why not? You can't be a Christian and have that belief. Didn't Jesus fill the gap? So isn't the stepfather filling the gap? See, you know what I'm saying? People live with contradictions now. They say Jesus filled the gap. For all my Christians out there, right? Jesus filled the gap, but you can't. Because your emotions is that of an animal. You know, lions come in and kill the kids, the cubs from the previous daddy. So that's your thought process as a man. This how you, ladies, this how you know you're dealing with a child and a chronologically adult man. Because he still feels some kind of way about a dude that ain't there. Now, 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Fred from Northridge, get in here.
So, I'm going to add a little dimensions to it. So what if it's an interracial marriage, okay? I had to deal with a woman, and we were in I was in my 50s. She's in her 50s, and she had 3 kids. The first child was 24, had a heroin addiction, had, what's the other, Hep C, and was jumping in and out of vans selling her body. Okay? The son dropped out of the 9th grade and became an assistant dope boy, and he would hold all the I guess you would say stolen goods or whatever at the house. Okay? And then I had baby girl. Baby girl had potential. So that's who I focused on most. I didn't try to enforce discipline on the one that kept running in and out of the house and selling her body. 3 times she had to be 5150. They had to turn her in for observations. And the most part that I didn't understand is the girl was half Motherquote Indian up in New Hampshire. And all she had to do was go and fill out the paper because her dad was full-blood Motherquote. All she had to do was go up to New Hampshire and get all them Indian benefits.
So, Fred,
to do that.
You want me to just clear this up? Them kids is grown. They ain't none of your business.
Exactly.
The kids
are... I had to let them, but baby girl was salvageable. When I took baby girl because she was the one, because the other 2 sucked up the mom's attention. Always trying to bail them out of jail or give them money or doing this just to make them behave.
But Fred,
baby girl was neglected.
Fred, let me come back now. If the mother is enabling them, can't you see the toxic interaction the mother has with them? That doesn't mean just because you with her doesn't mean you have to participate in that toxic interaction.
I didn't. I didn't. I was in Florida. I was appalled.
So you wasn't even there.
I was in Florida living with her. We had just got a house together.
So the mother
got married and got a
So the mother was with you.
Yep.
But she was still running behind her kids.
No, the kids was coming in and out of the house.
Hold tight. When we come forward, I'm coming back to Fred in Northridge. He has the greatest stories.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
The state task force is getting closer to identifying what California. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. The California Task Force to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans will be conducting its last meeting of 2022 on December 14th and 15th at Oakland City Hall Chambers, beginning at 9 a.m. with time for public comment. Meetings will be live streamed on the Task Force website or on ETM Media YouTube. Task Force Chairperson Kamala Moore says that the next meeting is of high importance and will include an in-depth conversation about redress and repair. So far, the task force has determined a conservative estimate of 2 million African Americans in California who have ancestors that were enslaved here in the U.S. They are still determining what or how much compensation should be. Let's start the conversation on social media pages at KBLA 1580.
At the Strategy Center, we have a lot to celebrate. Join us Saturday, December 17th, 12 noon to 4 p.m. for our annual holiday block party at Strategy in Soul, located at 3546 Martin Luther King Boulevard, Los Angeles 90008 on King Boulevard, one block east of Crenshaw, featuring food from Earl's on with Richard Marquez, an ornament making for kids of all ages, and more activities for children. Help us celebrate 33 years of fighting anti-black policies in LA. We want free public transportation for everyone in LA and 50% of all public and private jobs set aside for black applicants. Did I mention a live DJ and karaoke? You do not want to miss this. Join us on December 17th from 12 to 4 p.m. at Strategy in Soul, 3546 West Martin Luther King Boulevard. Visit our website for more information and RSVP to www.thestrategycenter.org.
Special Needs Network Incorporated, together with Assemblymember Isaac Bryan, cordially invites you to Christmas Care Exchange in the Park, Sunday, December 18th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Lamert Park, located on 43rd Place in Crenshaw. Experience a day of giving, love, community, and support. There will be celebrity guests, arts and crafts, resource fair, and more. Come take a picture with Santa. Enjoy the DJ. This is a free event open to the public Sunday, December 18th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Don't miss the Christmas Care Exchange in Lamert Park, located on 43rd Place in Crenshaw. This is the season of giving, and the Special Needs Network, together with Assemblymember Sunday, December 18th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be toys for all kids up to 18 years old. Children must be present. See you Sunday. Thanks to our sponsors, Let's Behold, The Butterfly Effect, and SEIU 721, State Council on Developmental Disabilities, Niagara Water, Lakeshore Learning, Puck Schools, Crystal Stairs, Beach Cities, Beta Gamma Nu, Casa Lopez, and Los Fabulocos.
More of the Voice of Reason with Bill Williams right now on KBLA Talk 1580.
George Michael, father figure. Everybody needs a father figure, man. Everybody needs a father figure. A father is a mentor. He's a coach. He's a disciplinarian. Mothers, should you allow your children's stepfather, the man you brought into their lives, to discipline them? Under what circumstances should you be allowed to discipline them? Should you sit down with their biological father and their stepfather to map out a plan on how to discipline the child? Maybe the stepfather is only responsible for taking electronics, cell phone, computer access, grounding. Maybe the biological father, if he's available, is responsible for corporal punishment if the family believes in that. But you got to sit down and open up and have a real discussion about it. Or do you not let the stepfather physically discipline or reprimand at all? That's off limits for him. He's there for you. And he could be there for the children financially, but not in a disciplinary capacity. 1-800-920-1580. Fred, finish your thought.
Okay, I see some of you talking about why didn't I put hands on them, why didn't I discipline them. Well, I was in Florida, so the rules are a little bit different in Florida. Black man put hands on white child, black man go to jail. Okay, for child abuse. Okay, so I wasn't playing that game.
But Fred, let me ask you this though, because you're responding to the chat room, and everybody on the radio doesn't know what the chat room is talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So I want to keep you on track. You got older kids. One was 24. How old were all of the kids?
Okay, my kids were grown. My son, in fact, I moved to Florida so that my son could go to the University of Tampa because he was taking up sports medicine. So I dropped everything in California, moved down there to sign up for him an apartment. And then I stayed with him.
So hold on, Fred.
That's my own child.
Fred, I'm going to carry you forward one more time. But Fred, when I come forward with you, I want to know how old are the stepchildren, man? Just the stepkids. I want to know how old they are so we can get past this segment when we come forward, because clearly Fred has a lot to talk about.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply before Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net. And together, we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Racial arsonists set LA City Hall on fire. And everybody is running out of the building straight to KBLA Talk 1580.
I am pleased to welcome LA City Councilman Mike Bonin to this program. Councilman, how are you, sir?
Hello, thank you, Travis.
Councilmember Kern Price, good to have you on, sir. How are you today?
I'm well, Travis. Thank you. Good to be with you and your listeners.
I'm pleased to have LA City Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez on this program. How are you today, ma'am?
Good morning, Travis.
Councilman O'Farrell, good to have you on, sir. How are you today?
Thank you so much, Travis. So glad to join you this morning.
Councilman Koretz, welcome to this program, sir. How are you?
I'm honored to be on your show. I'm still in shock from the event.
Harris Dawson, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning to the KBLA family.
Councilmember Heather Hutt, good morning. Good morning, Dominique.
I am pleased to welcome the new president of the LA City Council, Paul Kokorny. Mr. President, how are you, sir?
Good morning, Travis. I'm well. Thank you very much.
Holding all politicians accountable to you. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk
1580. I'd like to do a love song for all the little ladies, for all the daddies. Now, sweet little brown-eyed girl, now that you're sleeping, I've got a confession to make.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason. You already know my playlist is my co-host, legendary Gil Scott Heron. Your daddy loves you. Can stepfathers and biological fathers work together? I think yes, and I think it would be very beneficial for the child to be able to have two mentors. But the likelihood of that working is it can be problematic based on the acceptance of the two men involved in that scenario. But when I've seen it work, it has worked exceptionally. We still have Fred on the line. Fred, have you decided what you want to talk about?
Okay. Well, you're saying about being a stepdad.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm just giving you the nuances of being an interracial stepdad.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Now, the scenario was the oldest girl's dad was an Indian. You know, why I say a Wagatok, right? Up in New York. He was violent. He pulled a .357 on Mom's. She escaped down to Florida to get away from him. Okay. Boom. Mm-hmm. That's child number one. Okay. He had an addiction, drug addiction, and passed it on to the daughter. Okay. That's child number one. That's Rachel. That's her name. Rachel ain't with us no more. She OD. Okay. So, now child number two is little Ricky. Ricky Jr. Ricky Jr. like his dad. Now, this is the second husband. Big Rick was a handsome guy, and he had his own business, was a carpenter, but then he fell off the roof and cracked his back. So then he became an Oxycontin addict.
Wait.
You know,
Wait, Fred, I swear to God, you have...
Hey, this Florida, bro.
Wait, stay with me, Fred, because we're going to get to how you step-parented after you tell us all. Just when we come forward, we got to carry Fred forward again, because, boy, Fred got the whole tabloid story on this thing. When we come forward, we're going to talk to Fred one more time. Hopefully, he's going to get through this story.
Sweet little chocolate girl, but now that you're sleeping, I feel braver. I've got a confession to make. Secret and while you're dreaming on. Me and your mama had some troubles, a whole lot of things on our mind.
KBLA 1580 Santa